right, y'all. Let's lock this. All right, y'all. Let's knock this one out. Y'all already know what it's been a long day. It's been a very long day on top of a long 6-something days. Me and Chris Lee are here. Okay, let's just do this. Let's get
I'm with you on the long day thing. I've been working since 7 this morning and just got off 15 minutes ago.
Oh my
Luckily,
God.
it's work for home, but it's the longest of long days.
It's still a long day, no matter what, dude. I woke up this morning and my body was already in pain from wrestling last night, and I realized I'm too over this shit. This shit's got to stop eventually. But I got up and then I was like, all right, fuck, what do I got to do? So I got up. I was like, I got to take my rental car back, but at the same time, I got to do laundry because my wrestling gear was sweaty as all hell. I was like, I got to do that, and I got to do laundry anyway. So I was like, I can just put my clothes in the laundry in the wash because I got a laundry thing in my building. I can do that, take the car back, did all that. Then I was like, oh, I got to put this little entertainment center I got together. So I did that. I was like, why am I being productive? And then I had to send out some emails about a couple comedy festival things and comedy club shit. And then I went to the gym, and I just got back from the gym about an hour ago because I did a one-on-one before you. So I got back from the gym. I was like, why am I going to the gym? But then I went and I actually worked out. And it was like, it wasn't just sitting around. I was like, what is wrong with me? and now I'm here. And I'm like, yo, this has been a long day. And, I'm grateful for it because, like I said, I'm always grateful that I'm doing what I love and things are happening and moving. But I also just want to just be like,
Yeah, definitely hear you on that. I got to work out after this is done, too. So that's what I'm going to do after this.
Man, I was like,
I can't go a whole day and not work out. Like, this is like, I'm not going to sleep anyways at that point.
I had a couple, it was a couple of days I hadn't worked out. Like, I was going to work out. It's weird because I was actually thinking about working out early yesterday before the show. And I was like, nah. I was so close to doing it. And I just was like, nah, I think I'm good. But now it's like I'm trying to get back into it. So now, like I said, I worked out at the gym. I might do yoga tonight.
That's probably a good way to relax.
It is, and it also helps my flexibility. It helps me maintain my flexibility, and keep what I've been up to. So just trying to. I just realized, I'm training my body to be able to deal with the abuse, and that's not just the abuse in the ring. It's just the consistently having to go.
Right.
So I want to be able to be prepared for it because I think the weirdest thing is if I decided to do all the shit I've been doing and not working out, and I'd be sitting around here just half dead, just like.
Yeah, it gives you a little bit of motivation. It's sort of a goal at the end of the day because I always try to do it like right when I get off work.
Okay.
Because I usually work like 9 to 6 most of the time, except for today, and then I immediately try to work out after that. Because I feel like if I go and I relax or go and do something else, like that gives me more of a reason to like put it off. Versus if I do it right away, I'm like, okay, it's 6 o'clock. I work from home. Just go get that workout in. So an hour later, I'm done. Then go on with my day. The rest of it, that kind of thing. And then I try to do that in the morning too. I'll get in like a short 30-minute set in the morning. Do something.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Most of my stuff's more body workouts. It's not your crazy.
No, I do a lot. No. I do it. Here's the thing. People swear up and down who don't know. They're like, oh, you just be in the gym just trying to lift heavy shit. I'm like, no, I do functional workouts so I can maintain, I can move and have a look like I act. Because I used to, when I was first starting to work out years ago, when I was wrestling heavy, all I did was power lift, and I was built like one solid muscle. Like I was built like a fucking pit bull that didn't have cardio, and it was just ridiculous. Now it's like, oh, I understand what Triple H does. That's how I look at it.
So what are you doing to get the Big E traps? Anything to do?
I just do a lot of shoulder shit. Yeah. I just do a shoulder shit, and then it's like I'll do shoulder raises, whatever, and every now. But I had to stop because one day I was like, "Oh, I look like I have a fucking turtle shell." And I was like, "We're not gonna keep doing this. It's just I don't want to look like Conan." I was watching some old WCW Thunder episodes with a couple of my homeboys on Sunday, And these were like, again, the Filthy Animal days of Conan, him, Rey Mysterio, and you looking and you're like, and Billy Kidman. And I was like, okay, Conan's traps were ridiculous. Like, they looked like he did nothing but shoulder workouts every day.
Then he let his body go a little bit, but back then he was. I'm being nice to Conan.
A little.
He means a lot. He means a lot for that, for lucha and all that stuff. But
he let his body go a little. Ooh. I don't know if we call that a little, because it's like, but it's weird because you have a lot of the guys who were, let's just be real, who were juicing, who were steroided up heavy, and they all of a sudden just got off and never did anything else to their bodies. They just got off and let it be.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, remember the masterpiece Chris Masters?
I remember him after that whole, when he was doing his TNA stuff.
Oh, when everybody was like, oh, everybody was like, what's wrong with your body?
He had no flexibility ever. Everything he did was like,
just like,
people think John Cena is inflexible, and he is a little bit clunky at times. But man, Masters was a whole nother level of.
Masters was just, I need all it again. Again, you remember old WCW Thunder episodes, right?
Yeah.
So Masters was just like the Natural Born Thrillers, where they were all juiced up meatheads, but he was just juiced up to a level that was just like surreal. And then somebody was like, hey, bro, you got a wellness policy violation. You might need to stop. And everybody was like, ah!
Unless you're Randy Orton, you can pop 30 times and you're good to go.
Because you don't want Randy to go nowhere. Not only if you're Randy Orton, not only can you fail a wellness test, but you can also shit in bags. You can do all types of shit and never lose your man. That is the best Broken Skulls, by the way. If you watch the one-on-one between him, that's the best one, I think, so far. The Kevin Nash was so full of bullshit from Nash's stuff. It was so funny. He's like, I wasn't booking WCW, really. Oh, dude. I'm like, dude. You might not have been looking, but you had a whole lot of influence, sir. The Randy Orton, but like there was even that one, even the Randy Orton Broken Skull, and when he talked about him and during the Undertaker era, when he was talking about when he was working with Taker, he was talking about like, yo, I was too cocky, I was an asshole. Like, but bro.
And his dad was involved in that match. His dad was involved and he like no-showed.
Yeah, his dad had hepatitis, and they was like, stay the fuck away from me. But it's just that, like you said, if you Randy Orton, you can't do anything wrong.
At least he seems much better now.
Because he's grown. He's grown now.
He learned.
He learned. And again, it's evolution. So it's evolution, right? But you learn these different things, and you understand that it's like, oh, I have a fucking audition for a retail. My agent has sent me something. It's a self-tape due by, bitch, what? Due tomorrow by 10 a.m. I hate people.
I'm glad to help you. I
don't even want to do this, but nonetheless. No, but you have it where you got to evolve and you understand. Like now he's at that age where he can be a part-timer. Orton can be, but he chooses not to.
Yeah, he's so smooth in the ring. He is just so smooth. Everything he does, it's safe. Unless you're 135-pound dude that he just threw up in the air. When he was with the Jinder Mahal feud.
You know what I noticed? I was thinking about something the other day, or not even the other day, earlier. So now, over the past several years, in the move, in the vein of getting wrestlers, keeping wrestlers safer in the ring with training now. Training involves a lot of lucha-based roles. So you'll always see people doing these different roles.
Right.
You ever notice you don't see Randy doing them?
Nope.
You'll see everybody do a role if they need to roll through something, do this. Randy ain't rolled not once. Randy was like, I'm not learning this shit.
Nope.
I'm not learning this shit. Learn how. Now, I'll admit, as somebody who, like, we weren't when I first was training, we weren't trained how to roll because unless you were training with the luchas, you didn't learn that. You just learned basic things. But then when I came out here, I was like, oh, because I'm in SoCal, Mexico's right there. The lucha influence is heavily. It's part of their training regimen. And I started taking roles and shit, and I was like, you free 10-9. Hold on real quick. I got to ask about a show. Let me check my schedule. Fuck, nope, because I'm going to be in one of these fucking cities. 10-9. It's probably the weekend. If it's not the weekend of fucking Big Pine. That's nope, I'm not. I know what that is. Nope. All right, I'll tell them later. So comedy festivals are a thing, and I'm trying to debate if I want to do them. Like, I gotta prove I might. So I'm waiting to find out tomorrow if I made it into a second one, but I know I made it into one that's in Milwaukee. Okay. And it's like, yeah, cool. But at the same time, I'm
somewhat close to Chicago, too.
Well, it's not even the fact it's close to Chicago. It's there are germs out here. Germs out here. Like, it's just, you know what, like, because the other one I'm waiting to see if I get in is the one in is in fucking Phoenix.
Oh, okay.
So that's if cool. I get it again, the festival is nice. I've done it before, but it's Phoenix. Mm-hmm. So like, I want to make sure if I do it, I have every shot, booster, auxiliary shot, ancillary shot, everything type of shot. But going back to what I was saying earlier, when I had to first learn how to roll, it was so difficult because I'm bigger. Now, granted, I've lost weight since I got back in the ring, but it still is just your body's not used to doing it. And so I'm watching guys who are bigger than me just rolling and flowing and fluidly. And I was like, okay, fuck y'all. That's in my head. I was like, oh, I should know how to do this. And it took a while because I had to learn it. But I was like, and I get why, because of the impact it takes away from.
Yeah. I don't know why Randy doesn't do that. I guess he doesn't need. Cena really doesn't do it either. Cena really doesn't roll that way.
Cena barely want to take a bump. Let's just be real. But no, Cena doesn't roll. Cena doesn't roll. Triple H wasn't roll. Like the old school guys will just straight bump.
Yeah.
Like there are a few of the older guys who are learning because it's kind of helping. Again, Bobby Lashley, I think I've seen him take a couple of rolls, if I'm not mistaken. But, again, 46 years old. So you like your body.
He wouldn't be one I'd ever really had taken too many rolls. I'd love to see Goldberg try and roll after that match.
Goldberg rolling, he would never get up afterwards.
It was cool, though, seeing Samoa Joe bring out the Muscle Buster again. I never thought I'd see that move again.
Hey, they were like, yo, you don't come back. He was like, I got it. It would make sense, but it only made sense.
Oh, it's great. The reason it was banned because the Tyson Kidd thing, which was a freak accident. It's usually a safe move.
Very safe. It is the most comfortable. Like, yo, there is literally nothing that happens. You are so protected with the muscle. I've given so many fucking muscle busters. People be like, what's going to happen to me? Like, nothing. You won't even really feel it. Like, you be like, what about my neck? My arm is around your fucking neck and it stays around your neck the whole time. Yeah. My arm protects your neck the whole time.
But it's cool. Man, I really want to see a Samoa Joe Walter match. They can do it now, too. If they're going to they may bring Walter in because they're all in about the big dudes.
Yeah, but the thing is, doesn't Walter live? But Walter still lives.
That was the main thing. He didn't want to come to the U.S., which is why they kept him in the U.K. So I don't know. But I thought that was weird that they took the title off him because I'm not sure what you do with him in the UK unless you're just going to have him rematch Dragunov again, which you can do because that match is just always going to work.
Or you just, like you said, you just going to actually just say, hey, how do you feel about moving? Like, yo, would you move? But the problem is if he moves, then he doesn't have, because they're not going to bring Imperium, all members of, because you can't, the problem is you take him, the other members of Imperium are done.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about them guys individually.
No one cares really about them as a tag team that much.
That's what I'm saying.
I think if you did have Walter there, if you had Walter and them there as a unit, that would at least take some of the But
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I agree.
If you bring all of Imperium over,
yes.
But by the way, that match at Takeover with him and Ilya, I'd have had to shoot Walter. I'd have found a gun and shot him.
So, but then Dragunov at the end with the that hits the neck, the step.
That's another person. Yo, I've never. When I say Walter tapped out so fucking fast, I was like, yo, he almost popped this dude's head off.
Yeah, that was just. Dragunov's done a good job getting his body built up too. I mean, he's 210, but he was real skinny.
Yeah, he started with the
UK. He put on. That dude is just so good, though.
You know, there's things in wrestling. There's things in wrestling I love, and there's things about the business that I always respect. And again, no matter who you are, if you step to those ropes, you have my level of respect first and foremost, because it's not easy.
Oh yeah, I can imagine.
It's not easy. But anybody who says, "Yeah, I'm gonna have a match with Walter," yo, this motherfucker's chops sound like gunshots. They are gunshots.
Each one of them sounds louder than freaking Big Show's big slap to the chest.
That's the problem. Show's chops. Show's just was one. Like, and he couldn't consistently do it. Walter every time. Ilya whole shit was just like
it was raw. It was like Daniel Bryan. When Daniel Bryan first came back, it was.
I just know, but again, it's
that style, and it worked, man.
That strong style, yeah, that British strong, that catch can, that British in your face style, that.
And that's the thing too with the NXT stuff. Why it can still work is every match was different on that card. There wasn't There was one WWE style match that was a Samoa Joe match. Karrion Kross was close to a WWE pattern kind of a match.
Because yes,
which is fine. But when they're all the same, like
for
example, SummerSlam, it's like these all kind of have the similar little vibes to it. It's like.
Well, that's it. Well, so that was the thing too, because you got to remember, you get I got Raw playing on my TV. You got Karrion Kross, who they knew this was his send-off match, and he's learning how to work. He's learning to work TV style now.
Yeah,
NXT doesn't. They work the TV style, but they don't work the full Raw SmackDown TV style.
No, they mostly work it's a hybrid. It's they take the independent and put some WWE stuff on it, but don't lose kind of what you had that made you get to the dance in the first place.
And you got Joe, who for the past several years before his injury, that's all he's been working.
He can work any style, and that's
I know he can work any style, but I'm just saying that's what he had been working was that.
Yep.
In particular. And so it is what it is, man. So what else is going on with you?
Trying to get ready for this big movie slate coming up for these all these weeks, man. There's something every week from now until kind of December, unless it gets moved, which could happen.
Well, this is another thing too, and I need people. You and I probably on the same page with this. I'm not 100% sure. We'll find out. I need people to understand that there's no such thing as a flop right now.
Oh no, there's not. Nope.
You get what I'm saying? Because people like, well, what if this movie doesn't? Like, I've seen people say that shit about Shang-Chi, and I'm like, you got to understand, it's a fucking pandemic. Like, there's no such thing as a flop in an era where everybody is not comfortable going to theaters again. It's just.
But I do think it's hurt. The day and date thing, that's hurt. Because when you look at stuff like A Quiet Place Part 2 that's done the 45 days after, that seems to have worked. We'll see with some of these other ones with the 45-day. I think that'll be a big difference.
Well, here's the thing with that. And I said this about 2-3 years ago on Collider Movie Talk. This was always a plan. This was always they were always going to figure out, because people used to always say, well, how come we can't just watch it at home the day it comes out? The pandemic sped up a lot of things to happen that were years in the making. Like, they were going to wait. So yes, it kind of, when you look at for instance, Black Widow, right?
Right.
The theater owners are mad, of course, because they didn't make that theater money. But Disney was still like, yo, we made 60, 70 mil.
Exactly. Yes. Yep.
Good. Now, granted, when it comes to the contractual shit, that's a whole with Scarlett Johansson. That's a whole other deal. But regardless, Disney made what Disney wanted to make. theater owners are, and I understand there's a lot of people who are like, yo, there's nothing like the theater experience and being in a movie theater. I say yes. And I've told people this numerous times. I've said it on Blurs. But also people got to remember, everybody's not a cinephile. Everybody isn't I have to be in a theater. There are some people who were like, I can watch it at home. I can pause it, get up, go to the bathroom. I can have my own snacks. I don't have to pay all this extra. They love that. They love that possibility. Right. So we're sitting in this moment where it was going to happen. Now, yes, theaters, you got theater owners making this big deal and making it seem like the studios are fucking with them. But it's like, yo, the studios were always going to do this.
Right.
And I
agree.
When Trolls
Not a lot of people are like me, where I went to Atlanta to go to a 4DX for Jungle Cruise of all things.
See.
But I do have family in Atlanta, so that helped. But I live in South Carolina, which is like 3 hours away. So
your drive wasn't that okay? So that's
no. It's not like I live in California or did something.
No, that's a different thing. Yeah, that's a whole different ballgame. But I get that. But again, those are people who want that theater type experience.
Exactly.
There are some people who are just not going to do that. When Trolls Worldwide, regardless if it was at the height of the pandemic, when Trolls Worldwide made $300 million on streaming, that was all any studio needed to ever see to understand that people will watch movies at home. And yes, of course, like I said, it was we were all quarantined at the time. It was, you needed something for kids. That movie made $300 million.
Yeah, the thing I hope is that the budgets for these films go down and you get more characters. So even the superhero stuff, like I want more of that character stuff where you can do more, not as deep as Joker. You don't need to go that extreme, but have real serious character things where you're investigating this stuff.
Rough. I think you'll never get that. I don't think you'll get much of that with Marvel as far as the movie end goes. That's why you have the Disney Plus. That's why you have the series. Mm-hmm. The movies are going to be what they always have become. What they have become. Excuse me, not always. They're going to be blockbuster films. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. And yes, some people are like, "Well, man, should it have this budget?" And then you see what they give you in the movie, and you're like, "Oh, okay, I get it."
What are your thoughts on the latest What If?
The third one. The Chadwick Boseman?
No, it's the third one. The one where all Avengers. Did you see the third one? The second one was the one with Chadwick Boseman.
What was the third one?
The third one's the Avengers. Nick Fury.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. The one where it was Hank Pym.
I think that's my favorite.
So I kind of knew when I started people dying before I was like, yo. Is Hank Pym killing people?
And then Michael Douglas was great. His voice and all that was great.
But it was so beautiful. They gave him the yellow jacket suit.
Yep.
I was like, I loved it. I actually, yes, that one. I'm sorry, I forgot that's what it was.
No.
It was like, what would happen if he couldn't make the Avengers team that he wanted? But then when you look at the end, it was like you get captain and like everybody. So it'd be a different, but here's another cool. Thing. It was cool. Here's the thing, people I've been seeing with a lot of people on social media, shall I say, mainly Facebook. Oh, I don't get this. What if they're doing this? Like, first of all, fuck the multiverse element of it. All right, let's take the multiverse element of it out of it. Right. Mm-hmm. The big thing is there was an entire comic series based on this.
Right. I'm not even familiar with the comic series, but I love this approach because it feels like an old kind of like serial. Like you'd get a comic and it'd just be a random.
Yes.
It's just a random one-off story. Now maybe it'll connect in season 2 if they want to revisit it. Maybe it won't. That's cool though. What I got here is fun.
Well, because again, it's a multiverse thing, and they've said it like, yes, it exists. Because the Watcher has been the one that everybody was wondering who, because Stan Lee was supposed to have been the Watcher. That was the way they was trying to justify Stan's cameos. But now having an official Uatu the Watcher, it's like now I see everything, but I can't interfere. Like that is the craziest shit. Like, yeah, I see how the world going to shit, but I can't do nothing about it.
I like when they change more of the stuff. Like the first one to me is the weakest. The Captain Carter's the weakest one. And then I think they've each gotten better as it kind of went along.
And so I remember me and Winston were talking about that, and he said he didn't like it. And I was like, He was like, I wanted to see what would happen with this. I'm like, you basically wanted to see a brand new movie. And of course, that's all the what if was that. Like, we're just swapping Peggy for Steve. It's literally the first Avenger with someone different. But the second one they did, what if T'Challa was Star-Lord? People are like, oh, this just don't. I'm like, yo, this makes total sense.
It makes total sense. It's the effect that one person has on an entire universe. That can completely change it. Versus Carter didn't really change it. That was the problem there. I saw
a Screen Rant article was like, oh, this made Thanos weak. And I was like, you don't get it.
No.
One thing changes everything.
Yep.
He kept saying he can be just as violent as he was. He's trying not to be.
Right. Exactly.
And then this one with the Avengers, I was like, okay.
Definitely darkest.
I was like, yo, there's a lot of murder. The one, it's funny because the thing they did with the Hulk is I can almost guarantee you is from what people were talking about during Avengers Infinity War and Endgame. What if Ant-Man goes up Thanos' ass and explodes him from the inside? Because it kind of feels like that's what they did without directly having him go up his ass.
Yep.
Like I said, I rocked with it. I really did. I liked it. I definitely liked it. I like what they're doing. It's something different.
Yeah.
Now I'll agree, like everybody else has said, I would have loved to have seen different animation styles.
Yeah, I agree. Kind of like what they're doing with the Star Wars Visions thing, where you have 7 different anime studios doing stuff. You know, it looks all different, and it kind of goes with the story you're telling versus all it kind of has. It doesn't look bad. It's not like awful cheap animation, but you know, like I think Invincible had better animation.
Invincible's animation is just mwah.
Again, it's part of that's more of the DC animation style. I think that team is the one that does a lot of the DC Warner Brothers animation. Yeah, I believe when I was seeing that, but it's still different. It is a bit different, but you still can kind of feel some of that in there. But yeah, I like it.
Thank you for mentioning that, Chris. I think I'm gonna rewatch Invincible again tonight.
Good. Well, it's funny. Speaking of rewatching, I'm about to go through and just binge all of Superman and Lois since I had to watch it in parts and review it after each thing. I'm going to go through and
watch it. I got to rewatch it.
Yeah, I want to go through it all again to see if it kind of changes. Because when you review them episode by episode, it's kind of like, okay, where's the story going? Where is it going? Okay, you rewatch little bits and pieces. Now I want to see how it kind of connects. Because I think the big thing is the Morgan Edge stuff that still never ever tracks with me. That's the one thing that never where they go with him. Everything else with Lois and Clark still, I don't imagine that's ever going to be less than awesome. How they handle those characters.
That and having the irons and now having Steel and having Steel's daughter come in. You know, it's like, okay, this isn't what you thought it was. They swerved you a bit on it, and again, it works. And so I got to rewatch it. I got to rewatch that. I actually, from what I've been hearing, need to rewatch Batwoman.
Well, especially now they just cast Poison Ivy as
I just saw that earlier.
Which it's interesting. Kind of makes me wonder what they're doing Poison Ivy in movies, but maybe that doesn't matter anymore. Maybe they'll just have 2 Poison Ivies.
I mean, so DC is really fickle, and I know I've talked to a couple buddies of mine who are writers, especially like when it comes to the Flash.
Oh yeah,
like the rogues gallery of who you can and can't
even
use.
Smallville back in the day, you were getting like Impulse and stuff like that's your Flash. We can't call him the Flash. We'll just call him Impulse.
We'll call him Impulse. But now it's like because you had Arrow that was taking Batman villains, but was like, we got to get the lowest tier that can work in this show, right? Now you get what exact DC CW villain, because the thing with Batwoman is I think the hesitation is now what will and won't Titans use, because Titans references Superman, Batman. For those watching, you will never see Batman on Titans.
No,
because that is a $10 million character that they are not going to pay for.
Nope.
Never see him on that.
That show is just as dark as ever, visually.
You know,
and I like Zack Snyder's darkness too, but there's sort of a difference in the stylistic approach.
It's like watching that. It's like they got a little bit lighter at first in some scenes. And in some scenes they were like, we need to darken it just to get the tone. But it was like the tone was already there. Are you caught up on Titans?
I haven't watched it all, but I know what happens. So definitely you're going to talk about is going to.
So them killing Hawk, I was like, okay, nobody expected this shit. Number one, nobody expected this shit. But also, you didn't have it too dark. You didn't have it too light. You know how everything's set. It was a nice thing. It feels like it varies on who's directing an episode.
Yep. Oh, shout out to Tom Cavanaugh and Superman and Lois. He directs the season finale.
Okay, yeah. Well, he's been directing a lot of stuff now.
He's did a fantastic job getting that whole thing to kind of come together.
It's interesting to me. It has always been an interesting thing to watch actors while they're still active become directors.
Yep.
If that makes sense.
David Ramsey's starting. Hopefully he'll get some more directing kind of things where he can kind of go.
So what happens? So what it is, Warner Brothers has this program where after you've been working with them a certain while, you go into a director's program you have to go through for a certain amount of time. When you complete the director's program, they give you an episode of TV. And depending on how you do it, and depending on how you do on that episode, then they'll potentially give you another one or how your episode is received.
Yeah. I would say Cavanaugh's is stronger. They obviously have more confidence because they gave him the season finale.
Well, yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
That's like, you're like, yo, they gave Katie Lotz, I think they've given Katie Lotz 2 Legends episodes. Yeah. No, Tom Cavanaugh's done more. Let me see if he's done
Flash. Done some Flash.
I think he might have. Let me see if he's done Flash, because that's why they probably gave him. If he's done some Flash episodes, that would explain why they gave him the season
Flash crossover next season is going to be weird. That's going to be the weird.
It's a crossover without it being a crossover.
It's a crossover, and like the Superman's not even in it, like everyone else. But so I still don't know where the Superman and Lois is.
Yeah,
really.
so he had 3 episodes.
That's great. Yeah,
Cavanaugh's done 3 episodes.
He's going to come in but it's still different cameras, different set.
Well, he also had directed. So he's been directing beforehand. He did 3 episodes of Ed back between 2003 and 2004.
Yeah, Ed's an underrated show.
So he did Money Game and Tom and Grant. So he's been directing. Mm-hmm. So that's not a, you know what I'm saying? That's not a, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah. But it's still cool to see.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man. I'm sitting now, I'm looking at now they went to Katie Lotz because I want to see hers, because I know they gave her, I want to see if they gave her an episode of Arrow when she was still alive, when they were still running. Katie she's directed Twin Turbo and 3 episodes of Legends.
That's great.
Not bad. Not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad. So what else is going on, man, before we get ready to get up out of here?
Man, I'm just working myself to the bone. Just trying to write as much as I can right now. Trying to get into some screenwriting stuff. Start trying to self-teach myself that, which is completely different style of writing from journalism and doing all that. So I'm in Mark Riley's workshop thing, trying to start some stuff there. So
look, I want to, you know what? I'm probably going to try getting his workshop as well, because I know I do. There's one with Winston we do, and so I'm all about it, dude. Yeah, you got your ideas and stuff together that you want to write, right? You're talking about writing like scripts and TV or film, right?
Yep. I have ideas together and stuff like that. It's just getting the format down, starting to understand how. Trying to get out of my head when it comes to like putting dialogue on the page, like, oh, does this look right on here, and that sort of stuff, and start to get to kind of flow together, and that sort of stuff.
Let me tell you something. Me fucking doing my scripts that I've been doing Okay, we'll do that later. What the hell was that? Me doing my scripts I've been doing has been the one thing that's like it instills so much uncertainty because you might have it right, but you're like, does this sound right? Does this fit right? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I'll say this. Once you get your first thing done, whatever it is, your first full draft, however long you make it, once you get that done, step away from it for a couple of days.
Right. And that was the thing Riley said as well. Step away from it, and stuff like that. So
step away from it and just, you know what I'm saying? This way you could just like breathe fresh and then you come back to it. Cause like I'm on my excuse me, I've done my second pilot now. And I'm eventually going to I'm gonna try to do a spec script.
Okay.
Because I'm assuming that's what they, I never thought about officially being a writer, but if I have the opportunity, I want to have all of the materials necessary present to show that I can do these things.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's just having all this stuff, man, together. Some shit. Yeah, man. I'm glad to hear you're gonna do that, man. I'm very excited to hear how that goes. It's a great process, but man. I'm glad you're undertaking it, bro. Seriously.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Definitely let me know to your projects and stuff, man.
How said it again?
With the stuff you're writing, I'd love to help any way I can. If you ever
absolutely. I'll let you know for sure. I'll let you know for sure because I'm working on something else too. So I definitely will let you know. I definitely will pick your brain on that. But look, we got to get up out of here because I got some more stuff I got to do. Tell the people how they can find you, man, and send a lot of love and support and things like that your way. Yeah,
you can follow me on Chris_intersect. I'm always talking about movies, TV, wrestling, sports, anything. I also have my website, theintersectionmedia.com, where I write about movies and TV.
Nice. Y'all already know where I'm at because you're here. All right. So I'll let y'all for the next one. Chris, don't go nowhere. Take care. I'm out. Bye.